podcaster like I am, when you're Gucci level like this.
All right. It looks good on you. Well, look like this. We can see your beautiful face. All right.
All right.
Everybody, welcome to RETROCENGO and my dear friend.
It's Don. It's Don from Don's Pinball Podcast. Hello from the frozen wastelands of central Wisconsin. Back to Denmark. Guten Tag. Or Tag, yeah.
God aften.
No, quaff to you, sir.
It's so nice to have you here, my friend. I have missed you. 2-3 weeks ago, we made the last video, right? About, what was it? I don't remember. Was it Venom or what did we talk about last time? I don't even remember. Was it?
It was something fascinatingly interesting. I can remember that.
Yes, I think it was about your Stranger Things. Do you have it now?
No, not yet. There was a bit of a parts delay apparently, but they started running them last week, and so I think within 7 days I should have it here in the game room at District on Arcade. So looking forward to that.
It's gonna be awesome. But today it's gonna be all about Spooky Pinball's 2 new games.
What? They've got new games? When did that happen?
Well, the thing is, my peeps here on my channel, they were like, RETROCENGO, everybody else has been making videos, podcasts about these 2 new games, except you, what's going on? And I was like, you hit me up, and you said, Genghis, I'm on my way to Spooky, I'm gonna play both games. And I was like, if Donald is gonna play both of them, then I'm not gonna make no video, no nothing, not waste time on guessing stuff. I'm gonna have the guy that has the best experience. I think you are the only one in the whole industry, except Buck and Luke, of course, that has played this game, right?
That non-distributor, yeah, and even among them, right? So I can just cut to the chase and say that I have a high score on that machine now. That's how few people have played it that I was able to get up there and take the top score.
Cool,
the last 4 or 5 days have been just a blur. Like, first we get the soft teaser, then we get the reveal, then we get the featurette, and then all of a sudden I'm invited on down there, dude. It was just amazing. Hashtag blessed.
How close are you to them?
They're 3 hours south of me, just a trip through the Dairylands, and then boom, I'm right there at their worldwide headquarters.
Oh man, so cool. So last time you were over there, you talked about their new factory.
Yeah, I was there picking up my Scooby-Doo. So not just yet, but they've doubled their production size again. Like, this is a company that started in a room in a building, and then they outgrew that room and they built a shed, and then they built a larger shed, and now they built an even larger facility where they can really stay all on one level and run some professional lines. And so that'll be happening, in the year. But the building's done and the heat is on, which is important in Wisconsin.
It's the American dream, right? They're living the American dream, and this is their hobby, and they're making money out of their hobby, and they're expanding. I am just so much. I hope when they move to the new factory, you will go there and make a live video so we can see, because Spooky is really transparent.
Yeah,
really nice guys. I really like them.
And
absolutely.
They're growing organically, and they're hiring their local people. They don't hire a production run a game, and then, laid off until the next one. I mean, these people have been with them, for several years now. So the whole crew is just like Venom Stern, man. They're leveling up every time they go, and then each release is even better. And they're open to feedback too, and they're actively putting in that feedback into the games.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. But first, I want to ask you. So you played both games, right?
Both of them. Looney Tunes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looney and Texas. And you were there together with your wife?
Yeah. They invited us all down there. It was fantastic.
So what did your wife think about these games?
So first off, just from the release, she's like, Looney Tunes, I gotta have it. And so, and in my mind, right, and to preserve my street cred, I'm like, well, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? That is the brutal theme. I need to have that to remain masculine in this society. And then I'm like, well, what do I do, man? She likes that game. I like this game. Surely I can't get both, right? Because, from our last experience with Halloween and Ultraman, the gameplay layout was the same for those, but also the inserts were the same. The code was done by the same team. So a lot of it was kind of almost like copy paste. You hit the 3 scoops to start a multi-ball in each game. You hit the 3 drop targets and hit the scoop to start a mode. Like, that was the same for each one. But this time, what they have done is they have a completely different team on one. from the other. So like even though the layout and the shots and the ramps are similar, the mechanisms operate differently, the skill shots operate differently, the inserts don't match up. They each have individual different insert patterns. And so
What? They
yeah,
have
so
different inserts.
yeah. So it's not just, cut out a whitewood and then put this graphic on this one, this one on this one. The inserts are cut differently. The game
That's
plays differently. The
cool.
modes are accessed differently. The modes play differently. With TCM, and we can get into the nuance in a bit. But when you start a mode in TCM, it's clips from the movie and callouts. And when you start a mode in Looney Tunes, they're playing the whole cartoon the whole time you're playing the mode. So you're hearing all the so I was playing Looney Tunes, and my wife is sitting behind me. I started a mode, and she's like, "Dawn, don't drain. I want to watch this cartoon." And I'm like, "Oh, well, great."
Do they have a screen up at the topper?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
JJP?
Oh no, like at the top. No, it's in the back box. So
Oh,
that's
okay,
all the
okay,
same. That's the same from Scooby and from their other releases. Narrow
okay.
body games,
They could
three
have a
flipper.
screen up there, just like Elton John have a screen because of Looney Tunes, on location. It could be a great upgrade, actually.
Now
Just
you
have a
got my mod brain turning now.
yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
thinking of.
Why not? Why not?
Right,
So,
right,
so you want to buy the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
right.
and your wife Monica, she wants the other game. You
Yeah.
can't buy both games. You played
Who would
both
do
games.
that? Yeah.
Only a crazy person.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was my little bit, and then that was from the reveal, and then I saw the featurettes, and I'm like, whoa, Looney Tunes was really speaking to me, when I was watching through, and the fact that they've got the full assets, right? It's not like they got Bugs Bunny and then they're doing their custom little animations, like they got the cartoons, they put them into the game. They got the voices are quite similar to what was actually on screen before, so. And there's already 6 modes that are in there with cartoons, and then this code is still preliminary, so there's still more to come. So I started getting hype on Looney Tunes after the featurette, to be honest.
Oh,
So
so what did you end up with? It's spooky. Yeah, you have to have the spooky.
it's
So
hard, yeah.
what happened?
So but because I was so split between both of them, I couldn't buy one. I couldn't buy one. Because I
What?
had to buy 2. I have to have both of them. Now, you put Halloween Ultraman next to each other, obviously you can tell that they were,
Oh,
2 themes, 1 playfield. But I'm telling you, for most, people that don't already know about it, if you were to walk into a good-sized arcade and TCM was on one side and Looney Tunes was the other, people may not even realize that actually they do share the same layout as far as the ramps and the shots and the ramps and the wireforms.
but first of all, congratulations on both games. So
Yeah.
cool. Second of all, you said different inserts. Now, Spooky makes everything in-house. They print their playfields and all sort of stuff.
Yes.
Is it only inserts, or I'm thinking ramp entrance shots are the same, but
Those
do they
are
have
the same.
something different on the ramp exits or something?
No,
Or is
the
it
ramp,
the same?
the ramps, they got a great design. I don't think I would want them to really severely alter that, because then one would be a clear favorite. So each one of the ramp shots, and you can see this, they just put up TCM play footage finally. That just got approved for release. Each shot is feeding a flipper. So like this is the flowiest layout I've ever seen from Spooky. There were no no Rick and Morty, just reject shots or something, or where everything has to be precise like Alice Cooper. They've even taken that feedback, and a lot of the posts and a lot of the stand-up targets are actually angled. So if a ball does hit the post, it doesn't necessarily come straight down the middle. It'll, edge over to another flipper or something else. So, yeah,
They have been listening.
they have, yeah.
They have been listening. So I need to ask you. So the first video where we saw 2 minutes video, 3 minutes something 2 days ago, I saw the upper flippers, when they shot the ball, everything went just too slow in slow motion, just like on the upper playfield of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
But how is it? Is it just like in the video, really slow?
Right.
Or is it, is it fast in the real deal?
So they
The upper
asked me this.
flippers.
Okay, yeah, they were asking me like, does this feel like slower? Does it feel fast? It felt fast to me. I mean, you rip a shot through the inner orbit, it zips right around and then drops into a scoop and then comes out of Vuck back into the outer orbit. Like it was pretty quick. It's not TNA fast, right? It's not
Okay,
super
so
quick,
let me ask in
but
another
but
way.
it's not as slow as Scooby Doo's upper playfield for sure.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice. So one of them flippers, do they have a shot where you can loop and get to the same flipper and loop and get to the same flipper? Does
Yeah,
one of them
so
have that feature?
the jewel feature, the jewel flipper is that right upper flipper, because there's so many. Like both flip upper flippers have multiple shots out of them, but that
Yeah.
right upper one, you can shoot it into a ramp that feeds directly back to that flipper, so that is repeatable. There's also the inner orbit that you can shoot, and it's designed so it goes right into a scoop, into a subway, into a vuck that comes right back into the orbit and comes back to that flipper. So yeah,
Okay.
the inner orbit
And
is
how
repeatable.
many times can you loop that shot
It's
where it
up to
comes
how
back
how
to
good
the
you are.
same flipper?
It's an
Okay.
infinite loop if you get the timing right.
Okay, that means it's not super fast then.
Right, right. Well,
Because
I mean,
games like Iron Maiden, you can
so
loop 16 times.
oh yeah, to go really fast. So the inner loop, the one I like that feeds into that scoop and the vuck. I mean, it's limited because each time you do get in there, it goes back to the vuck to release. So it's not like gaining
Yeah.
speed as you're going. The other ones though do. Um, but
So
the Scooby upper playfield is pretty open, so the ball can float around. This is a tight maze nest up there, but it doesn't
perfect.
feel like the whole time I was playing, every shot felt fair. It wasn't like I had a good shot and then it would rattle and then stop and come back like I've seen happen before. If your precision is off just a bit and you get that rattle rejection, I didn't really have that with this.
So
Either
they
one of
have
them.
the next question is
Yeah.
their left ramp is pretty close to the flippers. It's placed just like on Foo Fighters, the left ramp entrance.
I would say I have to look at the layout again, but it feels like it's farther back a bit than Foo Fighters. It is
That's
it is more
nice.
open too. It's flared a bit, so it's easier to
Okay.
hit than that one on Foo Fighters was.
Okay. Because I really don't like it when it's so close to the flippers because it has got posts or targets that you can hit and then
Yeah.
straight down the middle. Did you experience that at the ramp entrance to the left ramp, hitting
And
those posts or what they have?
not with that
Did
one
you
because
see them?
they are wider than they are on Foo Fighters. Now Foo Fighters has to accommodate that other pathway behind the ramp. In this case, there's a scoop that's underneath there, underneath that plastic, which in most pictures is kind of hard to see exactly where it is.
Yeah.
But you can shoot right into that scoop, and then it ejects, hits right back to the flipper, doesn't come down the middle. But I didn't get a lot of like ramp post ejects. No.
Oh, that's nice. So you went ahead and bought both games, and these games comes in 3 versions. Which versions did you buy?
Oh, we're going with you got to go with the collector's edition when you see how loaded these games are. I mean, these have even more than what Scooby came with, man. And now they did bump the price of their top end down about $80
Perfect.
from where
Perfect.
Scooby was.
Perfect,
That-
Spooky.
yeah, the other tiers though, I think they came up a little bit, so everything's a little more compressed there.
So if I look at here, I have the prices somewhere. So collector's edition 9,700, Bloodsucker edition 9,000. So the Bloodsucker, that's for Texas Chainsaw. What's the Looney Tunes called? Do you know
It's
that?
also called a bloodsucker, and so that
Okay.
comes back when they had their fan club membership, their fan club that you could join, and then you could either
Yeah.
get the general release, or if you were a club member, you could get this bloodsucker edition, and then that name is kind of kept up there while they added this third tier, that collector's edition that they have. That's their LE, or
Yeah.
whatever top tier you'd want to call it. So I don't know if they want to
Also
maybe
standard edition. They also have a standard, for
standard.
8,300.
Yeah. So if you just need it in your arcade to play and earn, that's the one you would want. If you are like me and you like powder coated armor and powder coated coin doors and magnets now, a magnet panel on the speaker panel, and speaker lights and custom laser cut things and a topper, and a shaker and knocker, like that's all
the
in
mods
there.
you love. Does it have Invisiglass also and shaker?
That I do not believe it does. That would be something you'd have to upgrade
Okay.
for the
But still,
Invisiglass.
we're under 10,000.
Yeah.
This is a great move. We know Pinball Brothers took a price reduction. Now
Mhm.
Spooky with price reduction. This is the right way to go, and I hope other companies will go this route.
I
The
think
thing is,
yeah, go ahead.
usually pinball manufacturers, they need to, for them to make sense, that they need to sell thousand of a theme, but they are doing these 888 per
Mhm.
machine. But all in all, it's they're ordering parts for like 1776. I know you are talking about difference on the inserts, but
Yeah.
I don't think they are making a lot of money when you're thinking about all the research, design, and all of sorts of stuff. I mean,
Yeah, so touring around through the factory, one thing that they've done over the last few years is really bring everything in house, like everything. They're
okay,
cutting their own armor, bending it. They're printing their own play fields. Their cabinets are built off site, but everything else they've got, the vinyl printers for all their stickers, all their graphics, that's all made there. Their acrylics are all cut on site. The back glass is printed. The acrylics are printed. The play field's printed all on the same machine. So they have control over all that, and I think that's what they mean by they've been able to bring the price down, but bring their costs down as well, but probably still preserve those same margins.
do they use a fast system?
It's the same system that was on Scooby Doo. I forget the name of it,
Oh,
but
it's their
yeah,
own system, right?
yeah. So they've got a guy that's brilliant that's designing their boards, and then they've taken a lot of the feedback from how Scooby's been doing, and already have made upgrades to that board.
Okay. Did you look under the playfield? How does it look?
It looks great. They're using their LED light boards, and then it's not a huge mess of wires. Everything looks like the wire management is manageable. A lot of the parts they use are from Pinball Life, so if one does fail, you can just pop it out, pop a new one in. And they've been looking at that. When we looked at the ramps, right? Yeah, the ramps
Yeah.
are all powder coated. The wire forms are powder coated. If there
I want to
was,
ask you
yeah,
something about that. I want to
yeah,
ask you.
this
So
came
this
up, yeah.
game you played, it must, yeah, yeah. Did it have some sort of chipping on the ramps because
It
of they are painted?
It didn't. Now, if you were doing the regular black wrinkle powder coat that most games come with, I could see that getting beat up. They're going with a prismatic powder product. It's a dual step powder coat. It's their Illusion series that they use. It's something that I use, and it's got a base coat, and then you heat that up. The gel melts, and then you put a clear coat on it and fire it again. So it forms almost like a really hard, like a nail polish surface. So it's not really brittle. Like it could, take a beating. But what they said is if you do run into any chipping issues, you can unscrew the ramp part, pull it out, put it back in. They put the optos on the wire forms, so there's no wires attached to the ramp that you'd have to really get into. And they said if you do run into a problem, contact them and they'll take care of it.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, Spooky has great service. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
No matter who I'm talking to, they're okay. They have some issues, but they give so good support. So it's so cool.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about the art of these machines because
Sure.
I mean I have the my biggest interest was on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the artwork on the cabinet, on the backlets, everything, it's just mind blowing on the pictures.
Sure.
How is the real deal? How does it look?
It looks
Come
good. Now,
on.
I like the butter cabinet finish. I went for it on Scooby Doo, but even just the vinyl graphics they have. I mean, I like the finish on them. I like how the art looks. It's got there's a little hand touch of Frenchie in this too. He was involved a little bit in the process here and there, fine tuning things for him. So you can see it kind of shows through.
He
But
helped
yeah,
out.
I like it, especially looking at that topper, the acrylic topper that they have. It's you got the
Yeah.
barn, you got the windmill in the house, and Leatherface is out there with his chainsaw. And then as you're
Does it
playing,
have
there's yeah, I mean
does
just
it have movement on the topper?
with no, there's nothing moving on the topper, but there are some light shows that do show like LED blades moving. Monica was able to see that. I didn't notice because I was looking at the playfield the whole time. Um,
Okay, that sounds good. How about that meat grinder that grinds the ball?
Yeah, so that's cool. It's like a,
Was
a little,
the
it's like a worm gear auger that's there. I
was
still
it
don't.
was it in plastic parts or in metal parts? What was it made of?
So the one I saw, it looks like it was either resin or 3D printed. But they're still the games I was playing were still prototypes. They haven't gotten the finished sculpts in yet. So my hope is that it's an injection molded part because that's going to be getting a lot of action. You can see gears that look like they're their typical 3D printed ones.
Yeah.
Um,
The
but
first thing when I saw that, the first thing I was like, Stern would never do that. George Gomez would never give that green light, because that's parts like that on locations. Oh
sure.
my God, Stern would never make it. But the effect, I don't know how it is when you play, but when I saw it in the video, it looks so cool. That it
Oh
looks
man.
so cool.
Yeah, it's legitimately like a meat grinder there. So there's a auger screw that turns like a worm drive. So as the ball goes in there, it just kind of works its way down and then falls into the subway system.
I mean,
I'm
well
still
on the
learning.
glass.
Yeah, I'm still learning the code to see like what shot you have to hit to activate that. But when you hit that left ramp and it's active, there's a
Left ramp.
diverter that'll knock the ball in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the left ramp has a diverter. Also, the right orbit at the back right side. It has something that lifts up. What's that?
So that was pretty clever. So it's that back corner of the orbit, that right corner is where it moves. And it's on a plunger or a coil that will pop up to allow the ball, as it's coming up that right orbit, to go back into a vuck to get into that upper lock system at the back of the playfield. And what I thought was you trigger the lock, this thing pops up, and then you can shoot orbits to get back there. But no. It stays down, and then when it's activated, there's a switch it rolls over as the ball's coming up. At the last second, it pops up, and that's when your ball gets in there. So it's a clever piece of little, it's elegant in its simplicity. And I didn't see any rejects the whole time I was playing it. And then the ball pops up there. There's a little sorter that drops the ball into one of different places. The balls sit back there on meat hooks, and then they all release. It was fun. It was fun.
So cool.
Yeah.
So the best part about this sizzle video was, of course, the sanctum. Oh, sorry. The sanctum shot. Where the magnet.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that in the trailer, and I'm like, is this gonna work? And it worked every time I played. Yeah, and this is where the code teams approach this thing differently, because the magnet behaves differently in each different game. For TCM, right? The ball will lock there. Now they both throw the ball up into that lock. But TCM has a mode where there's a multi-ball similar to Munsters with Stern, where the ball gets stuck on the magnet, and then you have to hit it with another ball to knock it loose to start the multi-ball.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Does it have like a totem, like you can take the ball and throw it in the other direction? Can it do that?
So probably, but I didn't see that coded in here yet. I would see it grab the ball, and then when it's ready, it just releases for a second, fires again, grabs the ball, and throws it straight up into the meat logger.
Totally, it's copied from the Shadow, but that's the best part about the game Shadow. So,
if you want to go find great things from other games and put them in, have at it. Yeah.
Take parts from Shadow, take ideas from Totem. Why not? It's so great. I love it. So can you also hit the door as a bash toy?
Yeah,
you can hit the magnet grab every time.
You can hit the door as a bash toy, and then other times the magnet will be activated. There's modes where you can hit the bash door and then it'll open, then you can go in to start a multi-ball. There's other things
it checks as with a switch at the door.
Yeah.
Oh man, so many stuff that can break down.
So that's the only thing we can't really say. What is this? How is this going to hold up over year 2, year 3, year 10? That's what we're going to be finding out.
Yeah, I would. We have 7 locations here, but we have no distros here in Denmark, so I have never been able to buy their games. But we talked about this, and we're gonna contact Spooky, and if they're interested, import their games here, and we can have it in our showrooms and show their games to the Scandinavian people. Why not?
I mean, if you're in a region where people don't have these games on location. So if you had the Looney Tunes in Copenhagen, that's where people are going to go, man. I talk
every time a pinball release. My brother and I would talk on the phone. We're so excited, and we were both like, "Oh, Texas Chainsaw," and he was like, "We can't put that on location." I said, "No, but think about Looney Tunes," and he was like, "Oh man, it's so cool." So where's the distro? We have no distro. We can't get those.
Nobody's gonna walk by Looney Tunes and not throw $1 into it. If you have your kid there and let them play it, sure. And then everybody else, it's nostalgic, so it's like the perfect location theme.
To be honest, I was like, Chainsaw, awesome. Looney Tunes in the beginning, I don't care.
Hmm.
So I watched Texas and it was awesome. And I think, let me just check out this Looney Tunes. First 3 seconds, I fell in love. It
Yeah.
looks astonishing. It's almost better than Texas Chainsaw after I saw the video. And later when Zach's video, now Zach is he's a gem in this pinball industry because those that 20-minute what's his featurette, I
The
think
feature,
it's
yeah, yeah.
oh my god, where he interviews the guys and shows us everything. Those videos, I don't understand. We didn't get that with JJP, did we? This time
We
on
got
your
the game players floating off into the sky with Elton John, but we didn't get a sit down. Here's our thought process behind everything.
why not? All pinball manufacturers call Zach Many from Flipping Out. You know him.
Yeah.
Pay
Put them
the
on
man.
speed dial.
Yeah, let him make these videos. And the production value is like you edit videos, I edit videos. We know how much time you have to put in. I don't have
Yeah.
that time or the skills, but Zach's skills, they're it's Hollywood editing skills, man.
There's some
And
clever little edits of how they do the transitions and things, and how they let a voice trail off while they go to another scene that really, yeah, does elevate it. And I'll say
yeah,
this:
man,
I told this to the guys. They've been working on these games for years, so they're intimately familiar with every detail of it. And then it's released, and then like I have no experience on it. So Bug's there telling me all the code, and I have no context to put it on. So a video like that really kind of
yeah,
tells the story and like gets me like to know kind of what I'm getting into, what do I expect to get from this game,
yeah,
rather than just
exactly, man,
videos. So I
exactly,
love it.
really. And the way he edits the audio with every clip, a sound, he just mixes everything. And I'm like, I want to buy these games. It looks so, but we can't buy them here. But man, it's so cool.
He really is a national treasure, and we're lucky to have him.
I love his work absolutely, man. I mean, it's just it's next level. I don't know if he gets free games for that or what he gets, but he fully deserves it because after I watch this, I really want to watch a Texas Chainsaw movie again because I
Yeah.
watched it like 30 years ago or something. I want to watch it now because I saw how Buck was talking about it when he played the game. Every time he started the mode, he was so excited. Oh, now I'm gonna start this. He was so excited. This guy has been at this game for like
I gotta
2 years, and he was
I,
so excited
I
telling
was
about
going
the modes.
I was going back and forth. Like I'd put two games on Texas, and then I'd go back to Looney Tunes and go back and forth, and it was just a great palate cleanser. But like every time I was on Looney Tunes and I'd start a mode and the cartoon would start, I would giggle to myself and be like, "Cartoon!" Like every time.
Oh man, and the Tasmanian devil that turns around there,
Yeah.
and Texas Chainsaw turning around. I love when the chainsaw is running at idle because
Oh,
I'm an audio guy. When Spooky came out with Halloween, I really wanted that game, and then I saw Jack Danger's gameplay video with that, and the music was ding 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 ding, and the scoop shot was all the time, and I made 2 videos where I said Spooky, the audio part is so important. You need to
hmm
concentrate. But this game, okay, I saw their Texas Chainsaw video. The music, okay, the audio package, the music is so scary. It's so well done. It's 10 out of 10. That's the first thing.
yeah,
Second thing, call outs.
yes.
That guy, he's like, those new movie trailers. One man, one
The
mission.
narrator, yeah, when he's like
Yeah,
the Texas Chainsaw
yeah,
Massacre, it's like, oh,
perfect,
I'm there, man.
perfect.
I'm running for
Yeah,
my life. What the hell?
the audio part is just awesome. Except when Buck started the game and some sort of hillbilly Texas music.
So
Well,
there's a cool mode in the game where you're in the gas station, right? And this is where
yeah,
you go
that
around.
music.
So yeah. So as soon
Yeah,
as you go in, you hear like the ding at the door. You're in the quickie mart, and then there's just this like old jukebox country music playing, like just creepy in the background. And then there's call outs on top of that, and like the atmosphere of that mode is probably my favorite.
but people in the US, you will like country music, but us with out of US, we don't get country music like.
So yeah, and it's not, you're not
They
really
just
supposed to like this music. This is what you
no.
would expect to be playing in a really creepy place you don't want to be in.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah,
that was the only part because I watched his gameplay video two times. That was
yeah,
the only part that I wasn't, scared in the ambience of, because rest of the music it's spooky, man.
yeah, yeah.
Dark room. Oh, I would really want to have one of these games, but
There's a woman in a freezer that her body creeps up every now and then. Like it's, and there's under flipper shots for both of the upper flippers too.
oh, that's sort of well. So you're saying different inserts, but at the middle of the playfield, a bit to the right, it has got flowers like inserts.
Yeah, so
But
that's
did you talk about them? What are they for?
I I'm not entirely sure yet. I think they may be. I noticed on Looney Tunes there's a similar design, and as I would
Yeah.
play a mode, they would light up. So those are probably like the mode indicator lights. But it may not be fully coded yet either. So when I say the inserts are different, they are like it's not a physical copy and paste, but they're very similar in their function. They're just different sizes, different shapes. But the way they're implementing the code, there's two different coding teams on each game. So
Yeah.
they're going to develop differently, even though both games are similar, especially with the layout. But the
How
mechanisms operate differently.
how was the code? How did it feel? How long is the code in development?
So it felt. They say that this is the most complete code that they've had at launch. I believe it because there's multiple modes in there. There's at least some wizard modes already, so there's something to start with. And they're still doing code updates for Ultraman, so I'm not worried about them as a company
Oh,
finishing the
that's
code
nice.
for the game. Yeah. So if this is their starting point, I'm really excited to see what comes. While I was there, we were finding little issues here and there, and he was texting his coding team. And I was there for 3 hours, and the coding team had already come up with an update, and we installed it while we were playing.
Oh,
Um,
that's nice, man.
yeah. There was
Oh,
little parts where
man.
you could tell an audio clip was out, or an like an old asset was put in as a placeholder. So, but I'm sure in the next few weeks when we start really going into production,
Yeah.
them, that I think
On the
we'll be ready.
videos, when we look at the display, when they played Texas Chainsaw movie clips, the video did tear. Is it called tear? They were not fluid, or what's it called? How does it run? Maybe it's just the camera. Maybe it's screen
It could
grabbing.
be, I didn't notice any like screen flicker or anything. The movie film is from 1974, so there might be some old film artifacts that are there. I don't know. I'd have to, have them
No,
speak to
it
that.
felt like the operating system, the computer was too slow. When you watch an MPEG video file with the too slow computer.
Oh, and it's like buffering or something,
Yeah, something
or like
like
interlaced
that
or something.
in the
Yeah.
video. Yeah. Was it just fluid in the real deal?
Yeah, it looks fine to me. I didn't notice any. Now, most of the time, I'm looking at the play field, but I was watching it when other people were playing, and I didn't get that sense. I didn't notice that.
So how excited are there? Are there? Is this game on the line?
These
When are you gonna get your game?
these guys are so excited they can finally talk about it. I can tell that they've been excited for a while. So when I asked him, like, when are you making these? Are you making these in January when you come back from the holidays? He said, no, they're in production now. When I went around and toured the factory, I didn't see any, cabinets assembled or anything. But I think what they mean is they're printing back glasses, they're cutting armor, they're getting acrylics, and they're in production here. They said the rollout's going to be a little slow at first, just like it usually is, where they really check things over 3 times before they put them out in location. They have like the first 50 machines of each one are kind of allocated already for people that are familiar with Spooky, so they can report bug issues early in production. I'm happy to say I got somehow included in that group now.
Oh yeah!
I'm like, all right,
It's so cool,
let's go.
man! It's so cool because
Yeah.
one thing that Spooky is perfect at is game releases.
Mhm.
For the last 3-4 years before you entered this hobby, Spooky's team just went in when everybody else was sleeping. They released the game. They sold all those non-refundable deposits, and
Right.
they were gone. And then all the other suckers should go in and fight about the money. They just come in and
They were the first out in last year with Scooby, way before we got to March. Where Galactic Tank Force is in the middle of the pack; it gets lost. When I was talking to them, they said their strategy is they want to have the best game of the year, because in the market, that's how you stand out. So whether they get there or not, we'll see what the awards say. But that's their measure of success, what their goal is trying to get. They're not just trying to get a game out and then see how it does. I mean, they're really trying to go for the best game that they can make. And I think that's why they support it so much and why they put so much into it.
So cool. Don, I really hope the best for them, and I hope you will get your games as one of the first, so we can stream them, so we can see what's going on. I fully understand you not being able to pick one of these games because they're just so awesome, man.
I'm glad it's not that you have to pick one, because no matter how good they are, whichever one I got, I'd always say, I kind of wish I would have that other one too, or did I make the right decision? But they do play so differently, and it's not. I'm hype on Looney Tunes. I'm probably going to ask for that one first.
You are the only one in the industry that knows how they play. Okay, you are the only one except Spooky Team. So I believe you. I trust you, man. Brother, I'm so happy you were here again.
Sure,
buddy.
Said
to you 20 minutes, and it's like 40 minutes. So
I'm excited for everybody to get to play him too, just to see, make sure I'm not just making it all up, man. I'm really high. I want to go play him again now.
So about late January, they should maybe start shipping games. Maybe
the first ones might start leaving. I would think February would probably be more likely, but we'll see when we get there. For sure, TPF is going to be awesome. There's going to be a bunch of these, hopefully. So come on out to Texas.
Yeah, and you will soon get your Pulp Fiction.
I don't. You tell me. I have no way to know.
How about your Venom? Did you sell it?
Venom sold today, last night. Last night I got a buyer for Venom, so I love it. It's on its way out to a new home in Minneapolis. It'll be on location, so go check it out because I swear it's the best Venom premium in the world with everything that I did.
Was it one of your fans? Did he know you? Did he want an autograph on the back glass or what?
It's a new friend, a new fan.
Okay. I'm just looking at the banners. I know you also have the Iron Maiden. You bought it because of my review. Is that on for sale?
No.
How about the last game on that banner? You have got Stranger Things. What's up with that?
That should be. I might get a call this week that it's ready to go pick up, and I'll head on down to Chicago. So.
Oh, man. How about Foo Fighters? It was on sale. Did you sell that?
Foo Fighters is still on sale. I haven't listed on Pinside yet, but I'm about to. It'll be the next release to go out. There's another one that I really just made over and probably put too much money into, but I'm going to have to take whatever the market will bear for it. So, anybody that wants to have probably the best version of it you're going to find. It's autographed by the designer.
Your Foo Fighters is just amazing, man. I love what you have done with it. It's going to be an easy sale. I'm sure about it, man. I'm sure about it. Donnie, I'll see you on the next game release.
Absolutely.
Or maybe after you play the game. I don't know, but let's make a video again on the next game release, okay?
Love it.
I'll talk to you.
Pinball Podcast, gmail.com.
Yeah. Support this guy. Have a great day, my friend. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.